Hello, Proxy Table Gaming, PTG. I'm Hyper G with Lucky Sixes.
Yo, yo, yo.
I mean, it feels like a little while since me and you've done a battle report
Battle
recording,
report. But we've been so busy in the interim,
haven't we?
haven't
Haven't
we
we? I mean,
just?
we did the live battle just before Christmas, and then we did sort of a little break for Christmas, um, and then Masters happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
And
And we've had a hobby show in the background.
yeah,
The live
what
stream,
what
obviously.
a couple of weeks. Yeah,
And yeah, just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Look out for a Lucky Six hobby channel update because
at
there's be
some
so
point.
much to pack into that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
you
yeah,
it'd be safe to say that you were pretty busy hobby-wise leading up to the Masters,
I've
weren't you?
well, yeah, and now, right? I've had like
Yeah,
more games this year than I have last year. I swear, it's
already, and
already
we're
this year.
already
Yeah,
mid-January.
it's
Yeah.
been crazy. But
Mm.
as we've already alluded to, today is all about the Masters, UK
The
Masters,
Masters,
and crazily enough, for people that don't know by now, I made it there,
you did.
and
Yeah,
yeah, mixing with the big boys.
indeed. You no, not mixing with. You were one of the big boys.
It was, but that's
You are
COVID.
one of the big
And
boys.
that's but yes, here we are, and like I found myself as well in a group of 16 that I had probably hadn't played half of them either.
No, true.
Um,
Yeah. Mm.
One of which, our first combatant,
Mm.
it being Kev from the Kev Stonebanks from the Paired Weapon podcast.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
you were on a weekend with his counterpart on the live
Indeed, yes.
stream.
Matty P on the live stream, along with lots of other guests who I mean, I really enjoyed that weekend for the live stream. It was superb. I mean,
Yeah,
thanks to all the viewers and the guests, the listeners, even if you watched it after the event, it was really good fun. But that's not what we're here for now,
no,
because
yes,
it's all
we
about
could
your actual
thank we could
battles.
thank Matt, the organizer, and all the guests and things all day. But here we
We
are
could,
for a bat rep
yes,
number one, round number one in the Masters, and this is my list that I took.
yeah, because we saw it in round three on the live stream, didn't we?
Yeah, so some of you may have
Um,
already seen it and seen the action. Spoiler, but
yeah,
for those that haven't or just get catching up with everything, yeah, obviously we had the Christmas update, and that led to a few new things which you'll see in the list.
yeah, didn't it just?
I mean, I'm denied between what I was going to take to the Masters.
Did you?
Probably
Did you
between,
really?
well, what I just kept looking at Chosen, and I just think they're
The
just
cheaper
amazing.
chosen.
They're just
Yeah.
cheaper and they're better and whatever.
I swear they're
Um,
going to be like free soon.
yeah, but
Get a free unit of chosen with every warrior's arm you take.
yeah, that'd be good.
No
Um,
one, no one.
yeah, but nonetheless, I decided to go with my heart and obviously the
And your soul.
Highborns and my soul in the dragons, and
Yeah.
they're out here if anybody can see them on
Hmm.
my thing.
Yeah. Other cokes are available. But
Other
yes.
cokes are available, other
Yeah.
dragons are available, and dragons was certainly the theme of my list.
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, going through it. High Prince on Ancient Dragon, great weapon cleansing light for divine and flaming if needed. Obsidian Rock, which I'm not sure whether I forgot about or it just never came up. Uh,
Okay.
because I never remember using MR on
Yeah.
him.
Sure.
Whether
Yeah.
there was other targets or whatever.
Yeah.
That was interesting. And Queen's Cavaliers to basically mean that I can have all these dragons and griffins and
Yeah.
flyers.
It's an interesting thing you say about magic resistance because I'm similar in that I found that I forgot it more than I remembered it. And even when you remember it, it's like you're reminding your opponent.
Yeah.
So you almost don't want to have to remind them. And
I
yeah,
didn't know
I
whether
just end up
the
not taking it.
yeah, I didn't know whether the MR2 was a deterrent, which means it didn't get targeted, or
Sure.
if it just didn't get targeted because of all the other
Juicy
things in my
targets.
list, which we'll go
Yeah.
into. But yeah, it was interesting. High Prince on Griffin, so double Prince, which has been pretty cool. Shield, Dragonforge armor, Ghostly Guard, so he's got a 2-up armor against normal attacks, 4-up against magical. Lance Nova Flare, which is the super Lance, and Diadem of Protection to give him a 4-up Aegis. Trust in the Aegis.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually prefer the dim of protection, as it's written on the screen there.
The dim,
Yeah.
diem of protection. Mage on Giant Eagle, Wizard's Depth Cosmology, light armor and Essence of Mithril, basically instead of Naked and Hereditary.
Yeah. Yeah. And is it worth mentioning that that was a late change because of a practice battle that we had?
Super late change. I just didn't feel comfortable or confident in my ability to keep him alive if I didn't have a 2-up armor, which is basically what it is. Then to core Seaguard, big unit Seaguard, and two small Highborn Lancers, all with Banner of Discipline, because as you all know, I have no BSB.
What? I mean, is this 2017 again?
Yeah, right.
Because that's where the Highborn started.
It is. It's going to be quite interesting. And Nova Flare actually was in my first list.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, no BSB because I'm a baller, right? Absolute baller or an idiot. I'm not sure. Big unit of Swordmasters. Navigates.
We won't be mentioning that again, though. It won't come up. So.
No, I'm sure it won't.
Yeah, sure it won't.
Big unit of Swordmasters. Navigates banner. 2 Initiates of the Fiery Heart. The cheap as ships. Dragons. Mini dragons, I should say. So 3-up armor.
Not really mini dragons, are they?
3-up armor. Well, only 4 attack. Yeah, they are mini dragons. I'm going to stick to that. Pyro and an alchemy. Both adepts. Really, really, really good. And some Grey Watchers, which ended up being pretty good over the course of the tournament, and you'll see why if you follow these bat reps. So essentially, like I said, no BSB, but I do have Banner of Discipline on a lot of stuff, and Discipline 10. Quite easy access to. I've got Channel 6, which is crazy.
6? That's insane.
So the Initiates are both Adepts and Dragons. So I have 3 Dragons, which all have Channel. I have 3 Adepts, which all have Channel. So that's how that works.
So upsetting.
It's just so good. It was just so good. And a big unit Swordmasters, hopefully put all my magic into and kill everything on the table.
Yeah. I mean, the whole my argument about the Initiate of the Fiery Heart costs being ridiculously cheap is like most mage wizard adepts will cost you at least 200 points, probably more. Like, forget about the dragon side of things. They will cost you at least 200 points for a wizard adept, right?
They're
Channel usually costs 50 points.
Yeah.
That's 250. You are literally getting a whole dragon for 70 points, possibly less.
They're really, really cheap. They're very squishy, actually, considering, but they're really cheap. They have the breath weapons. And
when you say squishy, res 5 and 3-up armor, right?
Yeah.
That's not that squishy.
You'd be surprised, but yeah, I'd say we'll get into it. We won't do a list review.
Yeah. We won't do this now. Go on a while.
But we'll go on to the next list. And Kev's list, he has 2 damsels, 1 on a unicorn, Div Master, which is very good for the meta in this. Adept Shamanism, both relatively naked, apart from Magical Heirloom. Equitaine Lord, who's Mortal Reminder, Percival's Penelope, and Faith. Faith being you can keep doing the tokens and the prayers or whatever it's called. The Folk Hero, BSB, who is basically a tanky, wizardy cleric bannerman, BSB. So he's not there to fight people. He is there to tank and to provide lots of stuff to everywhere. 12 Feudal Knights, full command, 28 Lowborn Archers with longbow and archery drills, which is basically if you don't move, you get 4 ranks of shooting, which is pretty good. Yeah, Ordo Sergeants, Banner of Discipline. Knights of the Quest being the main one with Oriflamme. Haha, don't have a BSB, so that's a moral victory. Men at Arms, they're really good. They basically, and they're bad from my list in terms of them specifically because they don't allow Devastating Charge. So my 2 Princes were less effective going into them. Maybe the Dragon.
Flare,
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure, Nova Flare was. So that was interesting. Reliquary going in there. 2 Scorpions, which is
a problem.
Yeah, Yeoman Riders and 10 Hooded Men for some more chaff. Yeah, really interesting list, really cool list, and a lot of damage potential as well for KoE especially. We played Carnage, which kind of made chaff thing a bit interesting. Each time an enemy unit is removed as casualty while engaged in combat, when breaking from combat or during flee move directly after combat, you gain a victory counter. And then the most wins. So yeah, that was really interesting because the chaff, if it was killed in combat, could actually
lose you the objective.
lose your objective. So it'll be interesting to see how we both played very, very differently because of this.
Yeah.
And we certainly did. And so onto deployment, and you'll notice
Kev's already happy.
He's already happy. It was a very fun game. It was for our first game. I was really happy to have Kev first in the Masters, and for it to be, we had such a good time during it as well. So
yeah, and Kev's a 3-time attendant to the Masters.
He
now.
is.
So he's
one of the experienced
in the field
ones
that you have. You would say he's one of the more experienced players. So yeah.
Totally. You'll notice from my deployment, both of my lances are not on the board.
Where could they be?
Yeah, they're over to the left. You can just about see one of them. They are ambushing, doing the Dawn Assault ambush rule. Just because I didn't. Again, it was more I didn't feel comfortable. We've sort of talked about it as well before the battle, and said that actually chaff is bad in this game. So
chaff is bad.
Don't. I didn't tempt myself to chaff. Basically.
No. Yeah, because I mean, those lancers are probably in the list to objective grab at the very minimal, and at the most chaff, and so there was no objective grabbing for them. And if they did chaff, they gave away objective, so it made sense to use the opportunity on Dawn Assault.
Yeah, totally. So from my deployment, I left to right. I had Griffin Lord, Ancient Dragon Lord, the Alchemy Dragon is the blue one, Swordmaster's in the middle, Sea Guard, Pyro Dragon, Mage, Eagle Mage, and the Grey Watchers behind. So basically, I've got the 2 lords on one side and the 2 magic dealers on the other.
It's worth pointing out that you didn't own an Ancient Dragon before this tournament.
No, I didn't. No.
So
I painted him up just specifically for this.
How is he? Yeah, I mean, look at that beauty. I mean, you mentioned a hobby show, but he's in.
Yeah, and for sure I'll be doing some close-ups of the army and him specifically.
Plus your unit fillers on the units as well.
Fillers.
They look pretty cool.
I tried just as a quick one. I tried lots of different hobby things. So like unit fillers. I did a bit of green stuffing as well, all over the place, and obviously the new dragon as well. So yeah, I was really pleased with the army and how it turned out, and I was really excited to play it as well. It's quite a fun list. Regardless, but on to his deployment, and I'll move us because we're in the way.
We usually are.
We always are. Yeah. Left to right, he's got the men at arms facing off against my Nova Flare guy with the reliquary. The Questers are next to them. A Scorpion, the Feudal Knights, and basically all of his characters except for the Adept Shamanism is in the Questers, and the Adept Shamanism is in the Feudals. Then he's got the bows behind a wall. Then the Ordo Sergeants with the chaff, with the Yeoman next to them, Scorpion, and then the Hooded Men over there. I dropped for first here and moved up accordingly, like this. I was really happy, actually, with how deployment went, because with his Questers over on that side and actually facing my Lords a little bit, I could move up and use the hill to... Basically, with his 2 big units, I think my Swordmasters can take one of them, but they definitely can't take both. So the plan was to try and split them up and only take them one at a time, and maybe set some counter charges as well.
Okay.
So I was really happy that I could just dedicate my magic and shooting on the right-hand side as you're looking at it, and then have my Swordmasters and Princes sort of zone the left and see what they could do there. I don't want to go into the men-at-arms, that's for sure. I just want to spread them out as much as possible. So my Dragon came more centrally to provide the Discipline 10, and the Griffin went out wide to see if I can split him up. Basically, I want him to not be able to move up and forward and aggressively at me.
Yeah.
So
He can still see you with the men at arms at the moment.
with the
But
men at
I'm
arms,
guessing
but
that's
it's
a long
like
charge,
a
is it?
6/6 and it's men at
Yeah.
arms. So I don't think he really wants to get in. But yeah, I mean he could. But yeah, so
But weren't they in the unit that turned off devastating charge?
yeah. So
But you were banking on the fact that even without no player, you'd still grind.
yeah, and if he goes over there, even if he's steadfast, he's got Boom Move as general over there.
Yeah.
So I don't think I just think he'll be just caught up all game because
Sure.
they've not got magical attacks. They've not got.
Yeah.
I think it's only AP1. So
You've been 3-up armor all day.
yeah, and I'm Res 5 as compared to Strength 4 as well. So it's not. I think I'm all right in that. There's an ongoing combat.
Yeah,
I don't
fair
win, but I don't particularly want to be kept up.
No.
Held up, but yeah, I've just moved over there basically to see what I can do in terms of distracting him. My mage and dragon go right over the right hand side, not really scared of any of the chaff, and want to get one of the scorpions, quite importantly, as quick as possible, really.
Yeah,
This
sense.
is his basically our magic phase. I think I got the 5/2/1, which doesn't matter for me because I have so much channel and things. But this was the second spell that he saved all his dice for, and I diced him 3 to 5, which meant.
I mean, it wasn't even that much of a overpowered roll from you, really.
No,
It's
10,
just
yeah.
very, very bad roll.
He needed 2 on each dice, I think.
Yeah, and it's not even like if that was your last spell, the fizzle helps him at all.
No, exactly. So basically, I killed the scorpion, which is amazing. With ice and fire and flaming sword, not flaming swords. That would be a rubbish one to do. Pyro flow. Which was really cool. I think I did 4 wounds to him with 1, and then had to dedicate everything to the other. No panic tests or anything though from his point of view, and yeah, I'm pretty happy because I've now only got 1 scorpion to deal with. Scorpions were really, if I can get rid of them, it means my dragons can move around pretty freely. So
getting a good shot of the auto sergeants there. Kev is a superb painter.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. If you go to his Twitter, Dark Lord something. I forget his Twitter. Yeah.
Just go into Google Dark Lord. You'll find him.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I'll put his link in the description for his Twitter account. You get all the close-ups and everything. He's an amazing painter and it churns them out as well, pretty nicely. I get, because the scorpion's gone, I get the -1 to hit on here. I couldn't quite see the other scorpion from where I was because I moved over to the right. So they shouldn't be doing too much damage to me in my first turn.
Cool.
And over to here. And one thing I didn't see was a charge from his human into my mage, which I've got Essence of Mithril, but
so you're defensively you're okay.
Yeah, but I mean I don't do anything to him. I was like, I don't know. I obviously can't flee anyway, so I have to hold. I think he needs a 6, but thankfully he rolls.
Oh no,
terribly again, and just shuffle forwards 2 inches. So
it could have been troublesome for you. So.
Yeah, he would have had a charge and probably done a wound, and so I would have been on a test. So yeah, interesting, but we'll never know because Kev can't roll dice.
Apparently, yeah.
This is the rest of his movement. So he moves up his hooded men just to keep shooting at me. I'm not too bothered because I've got a hard target and things like that. He turns his questers over to my High Prince on the Griffin, which I am delighted about because it means my Swordmasters can probably get on the hill and probably be real aggressive on my next turn.
Yeah, because you're not bothered about taking the feudals on one at a time.
Oh no, I can take, because I've got Navigator's Banner. I can take the feudals, or I think I can take both of those units 1 by 1, like I said. But anyway, it means I can get out of line of sight of the questers, and that's the real threat. So really happy with that. And yeah, my Lord will just continue down that flank, I think, in my point of view. He doesn't do much else on the right hand side, just sort of like looks at things. He this is just the showing that side and what he's moved up to.
Good man. Yeah.
Being Carnage as well, I may look at charging some of those things because we'll see. But either way, I've got, if I can just continue putting spells on this side, I'm pretty happy. However, you'll notice that the dragon is kind of skew-if on this, and that's not because I've just accidentally knocked him over. That's because the scorpion has one-shotted him.
Wow.
Needing a 5 to hit, and
surely that
needing
was a 6.
4 to wound. No, just long range. I don't have hard target.
No, but there was cover from his own feudals.
Well, either way, I know he rolled a 6 anyway, so it literally didn't matter. So let's say a 6 because it makes it better.
Yeah,
needing a 6 to hit, needing a 4 to wound, and needing to roll a 5 or 6 to get the D3 plus 1 because it's still got clip wings. It did it.
Ouch.
One shot of my dragon, and I was like, oh, well, that's annoying because now I've only got a mage and I probably can't combat things. But all right, fine, no worries. But
sorry, your eagle mage will take him on. Oh,
panicked.
No.
Off the board, and that flank went from really safe.
Yeah. You were in a decent position. You were already playing your next turn.
Oh no, and that's squishy as you like. Like I said,
Clearly,
those dragons.
Essence of Milthrough hasn't helped him there, has it?
But yeah, so no, those dragons. That's what I mean. Squishy. Anything can take him down. Just one scorpion. I get on with both and just put them over here to never see the light of day again because I'm not having any silly shenanigans.
Okay.
And onto my turn. So I'm a bit. I mean, I get out of line of sight and I go proper aggressive in the centre, like I said.
Sword masters,
But on that, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do about that right hand side. I don't think Seagull can quite do everything. But yeah, so anyway, I go up. The main plan is to be aggressive and do stuff, so I do. I put the Griffin Prince out line of sight of everything on that side, and he's got a bit of cover from the Scorpion. Should the Scorpion go after him? But I mean, he just needs to keep rolling 6s, right?
Well, yeah.
The dragon goes, but the mini dragon, sorry, goes behind the hill and says, "No, you're not gonna one shot me." Which is, it happens, but yeah, I get Word of Iron off on him. I think it's just my last spell that I get off, and he allows.
Looks like the lower version as well, so it makes sense.
Yeah, he goes in.
So Here we go.
We've got. Let's see if my prediction was
right.
Well,
you're right. Yeah.
I shoot the archers again because the -1 to hit from the Grey Watchers doesn't go along with distracting. So it doesn't pair up with that because distracting cannot add things to it.
Sure.
So it's part of the wording of that. Otherwise,
You've definitely read up on that
6s.
before the tournament.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be hitting on 6s, and I would be loving it. But nonetheless, he goes in, and we'll see if I'm right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, moves up Equesters to be quite aggressive. He does present a rear to me with my Lord. And the only thing I can think is that he would challenge me out and then turn to face. But it's still not. I don't know.
They're not great on the grind, are they? I suppose they are.
Well, they're not bad. They're always strength 5. It's just they're only AP 1. But I can't work it out. So at this point, I'm like, he must have done that for a reason.
He just doesn't care.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, this is what it is. He's in and moves up sort of like to curl around me. Otherwise, his men-at-arms aren't scared one bit of the Griffin Lord, so just turn to face.
Yeah.
There. He gets a few spells off. I think I stopped the agility one from what I remember. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's there.
What's Know Thy Enemy?
He's
got Stars Align, which is rerolls to hit and Awaken the Beast. Yeah. I only do 3 wounds to him, and he does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to me. So between everything, we stick and hold. So that was a bit frustrating that we sort of held, and I didn't do too much damage, but he didn't do too much to me either. And I've
it's
got a
only
magic
gonna get
phase,
better for you.
so we'll see how that goes. Also, he left a 9 charge to get into his flank with my Sea Guard. So I and I take it because I think if I get that, I kill them, and I'm right up next to the archers, away from the questers, and happy days, really. However,
sure.
I don't make it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the dragon charges his archers, who flee because they don't want to don't want to get into combat because of carnage. And then I charge into his auto sergeants, which also flee, I believe. So my dragon kind of just like stumbles forward a little bit.
Yeah. It does mean the dragon is now just flapping in the wind with the questers standing there.
Yep, very, very true.
Unless, of course, you griffin charge them.
And other things as well. So this is just showing the fleas. I don't get into the archers. I think I need a double 6, but I don't get in. And this is how it looks. I go to chaff the questers, which I couldn't quite get my Grey Watchers over in time. I think if I'd have done another couple, if I'd been more on it and put them over this side, I might have been able to use them as chaff. Obviously, carnage doesn't means that chaff is bad, and I'm going to lose an alchemy mage after this, which is bad. Yeah. I just didn't fancy going into with the Griffin Lord because I think I could have just got challenged out, and I'm not. I obviously can only pop the Nova Flare once. Maybe I should have charged and not charged with the Ancient Dragon. There's a few things I could have done, I think, but yeah, I just didn't. I decided against it and decided to chaff and see if I could maybe charge again later on. But we'll see how that goes.
I mean, I thought you might just suck up the charge with the Ancient Dragon.
The feudals possibly. Although
because these characters aren't built to kill, are they?
His questers, and this is another thing as well. So his questers get to choose a unit.
Oh, sure.
And he chose High Prince. So both the questers are even better against my lords.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
Perhaps that as well put me off a little bit. Although on hindsight, I do think maybe I should just go in and suck it up for a bit. I'm not sure. Anyway, I get Word of Iron and Glory Gold off on the Swordmasters for a last hurrah from the Word of Iron Alchemy Lord, Alchemy Dragon, who's going to die soon. Alchemical Fire is on both as well, so I'm rerolling to wound, and I've got +2 armor, which is nice.
Very good.
I go to town on them, but I don't quite kill them, and I don't run them down either. I think I roll a double 1 or something silly and they roll double 6 to get away. So they do have a chance to rally, and I mean I should be able to get another charge on them as well. So there's that, but I don't get the carnage point, which is unfortunate, and I'm obviously going to be 1-0 down for the alchemy mage soon. So that's frustrating for me, but nonetheless, good for the Swordmasters. They're in a good position. He goes in here.
I mean, that's of these, too tempting not to take, isn't it?
Yeah, so the feudals rally, but both of the others flee. Archers and things, which is good because I get points, but bad because I don't get them in carnage. It's a real. There was so much fleeing in this.
Well, I think that was the case across all of the games in round 1 of the Masters. So but the feudals do survive for the moment. The hooded men come up and do that, and the men at arms move in to face the Swordmasters, I believe, from there. The Scorpion does 2 wounds to me. Okay.
Fair enough. And this is after his combat phase. He kills the alchemy dragon. Fair enough. And my main dragon panics.
Oh my gosh.
Panics all the way, and I'll move us just in case.
Why are they not violets?
So I panic all the way this way through my Sea Guard, who passed their panic, thankfully. And
passed their panic with an ancient dragon running away.
I know. over the
Yeah.
hill, and I don't take any further DTs from the Hooded Men.
Something.
So the dragon's not going to be in play much.
No.
However, it's not terrible because it is well away from the questers. So there's good and there's bad from that. If I can rally, if I can rally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did at this point, after failing that panic and failing the mage and all this, I was like, oh god, I'm just gonna. This is the dice.
The whole tournament
the
is going to
Masters
be.
people.
Why didn't I bring a BSB?
Yeah. I charge. So my swordmasters charge the feudals who
they
flee.
Yeah.
So again, points great, and I redirect into the Scorpion.
Who can't flee.
I choose to charge with the Griffin into the Scorpion as well, but I don't know why, because nothing was going to charge him. This is something that afterwards I was like, I don't know why I did.
Could you go into the flank of the men-at-arms instead?
Yes.
Or the
questers. So I had loads of options.
Yeah.
I chose the Scorpion. And again, you'll see from the thing, I made a bit of a mistake coming up, because the obvious thing is just to run off the board away from any potential charges and such like that. But I didn't. So I positioned them like so.
Right.
I just massively overthought what I could do. And I thought, well, if I run, my Swordmaster could still potentially get off the board and be over there. But also my Griffin could run and rally and all that jazz.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is just a case of, I especially looking at it now, it was not the right play. I don't think the Griffin needs to charge in at all, if I'm honest. I don't know why I risked it.
If he's not charging the other two units, he didn't need to go in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the Swordmaster should have just tried to run off the board. Although there was a point where I was thinking, well, maybe they're a bit, they needed like a 7 to go if I go straight. So maybe if I do this. And there was a lot of that, really, thinking about it. But, yeah. So there's that. My Ancient Dragon rallies. And just looks to go over here. Sea Guard go up to shoot off that chaff because I don't want them doing anything silly. And that's about all I can do. They do shoot off the chaff though, so that's great. Well done, Sea Guard.
That's great. Yeah. Well
and this is how I end up. My plan. So I can the Swordmasters can see everything, and it's not a small charge to get in with the questers, so I'm all right.
No.
And I figure I'll flee from the men-at-arms with my Griffin so that potentially
that's risky.
Especially now that the other guys, so that they might have to redirect, and if they redirect, they have to get into my Swordmasters, and I can maximize against them.
What if your Griffin doesn't flee very far?
Then I'm in issues, but it also might. So this is part of my overthinking. This realistically, I should not have charged the Griffin, and you shouldn't be anywhere near there.
I mean, I'm not sure fleeing the Griffin in any circumstances would be great.
No, I do have the -1 on the questers as well. So from the Grey Watchers, so they're at least going in and hitting me on 5s if they go in. So that's cool.
If you hold,
he charges with both, and I kind of think, well, actually, because he's charged the thing straight in, I don't get the Nova Flare thing, but I can probably hold. And this is another part of my just overthinking, and I think it's because I was at Masters and I was trying to be really clever.
Yeah.
But I don't flee, and I'm like, come on then, let's do this, because he's already charged. He can't double charge basically.
No, if he's already got the Swordmasters,
So I was like, all right, let's do this.
Okay.
I think I fled with the Swordmasters now, thinking about it, because I didn't want him to get into combat and to die. So, just no. Something happened here.
There's a spell.
There's a spell. So
unerring strike.
Yeah, no, I know what happened. An erring strike goes off, does a few wounds, enough to make me panic. I certainly do panic. And I panic off the board. And there's that. And at this point I was gutted because I was like, I've got away with it basically.
An erring strike must have gone to town as well.
It did.
Panic test.
It just, I mean, I have 22. He needed to do 6. wounds or
Yeah.
something.
I mean,
And he
of all
just
the
did.
things that there are in the game that are anti-elf, an erring strike is probably
It's one
pro-elf.
of them, yeah, I know.
So,
But yeah, so he did enough. I panicked and I panicked off the board, and that was really
that's a
disheartening for
blow.
me. And again, it's the BSB thing. I was like,
Yeah.
the masters are going to kill me for not having a BSB. But hey ho, I charge and kill these. I think so. At least there's that was like
Yeah.
one positive of going over this side is that I could get the hooded
For
men
a carnage point.
for a carnage point. So it's 1-1.
Yeah.
I think is it 1-1?
Yeah, because everything else has fled from you. Or
Yeah.
2-1 because of the scorpion.
Oh yes, 2-1 because the scorpion. He does one wound to me. I do a few to his men at arms, but we carry on. I move up to be like this. I think this is my
There's
last
not
turn.
a lot left on the board. So.
There's really not a lot. He actually rallies with his human, maybe as well.
Okay.
Maybe he panicked. I don't know. I can't remember. Gets into here, and that's going to be a carnage point for 2-2.
Yeah.
Because I think I only actually took one wound overall, but because of all the combat res, he makes me flee.
Yeah.
I flee off the board, and that is that for the Griffin.
Did you
And,
did you actually free off the board, or did he run you down? Because obviously that's a different thing for carnage point. He was still about to have run you down to get the carnage point.
I can't remember, but I think he get. Let's say he got me because I.
Okay.
You
drew the objective overall.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was that. In fact, actually, going back to it, I can't remember whether he did or not, and I also can't remember whether this was he fled and I caught him. Would that have counted the same?
Not if only if you flee from combat do you get the carnage point.
With my dragon,
flee,
I don't know what happened with that then.
Yeah. If you flee from a charge and get caught, it's not a carnage point.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure we played that 100% right then, and I can't remember whether he caught me or if I fled.
Yeah, because even if you flee off the board, it's still worth him running to see if he outruns you to catch you.
But he only ran with his men at arms, so maybe I can't remember. But regardless,
yeah,
we called it as a 2-2. We played it as a 2-2.
Fair enough.
Point of view. I moved up. He moved up. It goes over there to try and awaken the beast, my ancient dragon, and that is the last picture of bloody battle, and one that really my BSB could have helped me out on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You said yourself there, maybe a bit of master's nerves in that one.
Yeah, possibly with overthinking of everything. I did. Yeah, it's I don't think the Griffin needs to go in at all, and I don't think the men at arms want the Swordmaster fight in hindsight. So,
well, I mean, I'm surprised with the Griffin for different reasons. I would have thought you'd have been lapping up the opportunity to flank charge the men at arms.
Yeah, I think the
questers.
The fact that his unit was rerolling to wound and lethal strike against me, just
even in the flank though.
Well, he just, from my point of view, he just challenges with like his lord. So I might get his lord points, and then he just kills me. So I don't know whether it's worth it. I'm not sure. But yeah, overthought that one. But yeah, a really fun battle. Lots of things happened. Yeah, just discipline tests galore. With the mage, that was my fault because I was within 6 inches. So there's that. The sword masters, I let off an erring strike, and he got loads of wounds. And
that's really
just
unlucky.
One of them there.
Yeah.
So, I would have liked to see what he would have done, whether he would have put his questions into my sword masters, because I didn't have any magic support. So.
Yeah,
maybe he would have had that, but yeah, is what it is, and ended up a 9-11.
Okay,
we played it as we drew the objective.
Sure, I think that was probably about right. It sounds like you might have.
I might have lost the objective. I can't remember.
Well, if you didn't run down the Griffin with his men at arms, and you didn't get a point for killing his hooded men on the charge, then it might have actually been 1-1.
Yeah. Either way,
in which case it would have been the same result. So yeah.
Lots of fun, lots of well, there was lots of carnage, but not in that manner. Really.
No, I think that was generally the consideration across the whole of the tournament.
Yeah,
there were fleeing moves that wouldn't normally be fleeing moves.
Yeah,
So yeah.
So yeah, no, but good fun. Kev, well done. And I demand a rematch, sir.
Well, he's 3-0 against us now. I mean, that can't stand.
Yeah.
So we've got to sort him out at some point, haven't we? And Should as I mentioned on the live stream though, Kev, you might be 3-0 against us, but it did take you 6 turns to get an 11-9 against Lucky Six's list. I obviously got a 20-0 against you in practice in 3 turns. So,
You did, yeah. We did.
This is one we practiced, isn't it? So
it was the day before. We
Yeah.
got there really early on Friday and couldn't get into the venue, so we played in our room. like good old floor hammer.
And that was actually a lot of failed panic tests as well.
Yeah,
so,
it was.
But,
so what I'm hoping is that all of them, I got them out game one.
all of
and
your
considering
bad discipline tests,
all of my bad discipline tests, to get a 9, I was quite happy.
It's not a terrible start.
So, and I'm about the middle of the pack. Obviously, would I like just to edge a win or a draw? But that'd be a bit greedy. So very happy and good game. Bring on the rest.
Yeah, because there was a real consideration that you would go down hard in this battle because of the scorpions.
Yeah,
and obviously you lost 1 dragon to a scorpion, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, once I got really lucky in that first phase and got rid of a scorpion.
Yeah,
I was feeling so good about the battle, and then he one-shotted me.
and gets rid of your eagle as well.
And that changes so much. I mean, it's what 300. It's 600 points anyway.
Plus 3 of your channels.
Plus 3 of my channels.
And 4 of your spells.
Yeah. And also the rest of the game, I have. Even if he just doesn't one-shots me, that's 3 out of 4 wounds. Something. Yeah, just doing that and
it's a big turning point.
It was massive. And then the sword masters at the end really annoyed me. Because I'd overthought it, and I realised that as well once I got to finishing the scorpion combat. Because I was like, why didn't I just charge the sword masters and then overrun? That would have been the simplest thing.
Yeah.
And then he has to look towards the sword masters. Then my griffin can do it. So I was just like,
there's all sorts.
So overthinking it with stuff to do. But yeah. So and when they went, I was like, that's karma, I think.
Yeah, but 9 points mid-table. It's a decent position to be in. So yeah, I think it's a decent result, even if it's not the right side of the 10 points. But
very happy and hoping to get my tournament thing is to get 1 win, not get 20'd, and not finish bottom. Realistically, my first Masters. Obviously, love to go further, but we'll treat that when it comes. And on to round 2.
Yeah, here we go.
We actually finished this in 2 hours as well.
You did. You were the first to finish.
Yeah.
By a long way, actually. Yeah.
And then we had lunch after, so I had 2 hours just to mooch around and chat to people and stuff. So that was cool.
Yeah, really. I think we actually got Kev on the live stream briefly as well.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. I think we both came on at some point in that first round. But so good start, and let's see what we can do further. Come on.
Yes, round 2. Here we come.
Yeah, man. See you later.